The reason why I'm saying these two individuals right here is not because I want to compare them. They don't share any comparing ground, but for me to address the title of CEO, what it is and who is actually a CEO, because I noticed that we've been abusing, a lot of people have been abusing that very title, CEO. CEO of Sleep's World, CEO of this in One World. Too many CEOs, we hear a lot of CEOs and we wonder who then is hungry in this country? Who are those people complaining about hunger and all the rest of it? Now, but my right answer is Mrs Adaora, current CEO stroke GMD of the Zenith Bank of Nigeria. And by the left hand side is Blessing CEO. In quote. Before you start saying things like, must you have to slut shame? Because it's always very easy to use those words, slut shame, body shame, in a wrong context for you people. I see a lot of people using that slut shaming, body shaming in a total wrong context. I'm not really here for that. I really love celebrating women that do extraordinary things in the field and in the eyes of the people. The last time I did this was when Okonjo Iweala was actually appointed as the Director General of the World Trade Organization. Come on. And I can tell you and assure you right now that such positions doesn't just come by just luck, chance, or by the traditional misconception that you have to sleep your way to that position. It doesn't happen. For you to get to such feat, you must set goals. You must set standards. You must see your dream. You must have a dream. You must be an ambitious person in the first place, even to some extent overly ambitious. You must see yourself there even before you arrive there. This is how you get to such positions. Mrs Adaora umeoji is the example, the perfect illustration of who a CEO is. I mean, such feat is hardly seen in the female department. And let me also tell you that appointing or selecting people as MDs or CEOs in a bank takes a very stressful, rigorous process of identifying who fits. For you to be the CEO, GMD of a particular conglomerate, you must have a level of competence. And it gladdens my heart when I heard that Mrs Adaora is the person who the cap fits. And before you ask, what does Mrs Adaora umeoji represent, and who exactly is she? I must tell you that she's everything that you've never heard of before. Not only that Mrs Adaora umeoji is currently holding the title of the CEO and the GMD of Zenith Bank, but she has also worked in the banking sector for 30 good years, which 26 years is Zenith Bank. She's also an alumnus of the prestigious Harvard University. During her NYSC days, Mrs Adaora umeoji single-handedly brought in the account of Julius Berger to Zenith Bank. I believe it's one of the things that's skyrocketed her to this point. Not only that she's an alumnus of Harvard University, she's an alumnus of too many prestigious schools, has gotten certificates in different schools in abroad, degrees from different prestigious schools, degrees ranging from sociology, law, and economics. She's also a peace advocate of the United Nations and also the founder of CBAN, Catholic Bankers Association of Nigeria. Come on. One of the leading factors that contributed on the representation of women in the leadership sector is lack of role model or insufficient role models. Now, I give you Mrs Adaora umeoji. You don't necessarily have to go into the finance industry. Be very intentional about those you pick as your role model. See, you must be intentional about this. I keep on saying this. You don't necessarily need to make learning and mentorship official. Learn from people you admire. Learn from people you find something worthy of emulating in them. Learn from people you see in the screen. Learn from people you see in your smartphones. But be very intentional about those you pick as your mentors. This is the reason why I brought these two people down here. I am not really doing this for me to discourage you from picking this very person as your role model. No. I am only saying, know what you are doing. Know the what, know the value, scale the both of them and can tell yourself the truth. The people who will pick as our role models indirectly have an impact in our lives, whether it's negative or positive. So that is the reason why you have to be intentional about who you pick as your role model. We have lots and lots of wrongs that we've actually learned from the social media space, and the worst we can actually do is keep it compounding. So you should be very intentional about those you pick as a role model. If Mrs Okonjo Iweala is not mentor material enough for you, what about Mrs Adaora umeoji? I mean, she has the beauty, she has the brain, she has the competence, she has everything. Please, again, before you say that I'm comparing or slut shaming anybody, they had on. I'm only saying that you should be very intentional. Don't always say that you don't have people that you look up to. There are too many people. When it comes to the female industry, we have few. But then we have that very few that can actually impact you positively. Choose wisely.